Hello and welcome back to my YouTube videos on guidelines. In my previous video, I had said that my next topic would be on ramp modeling. Who can be a ramp model, where, how, etc. I have with me Mr. M.S. Sreedhar, who is popularly known as the Sultan of Showbiz with 36 years of experience backing him. In today's video, not only are we going to be discussing a few points, we will also be going to show you a demo. So, are you ready? So Sreedhar sir, first question is, who can be a ramp model? What is the specific height required and is there a specific body type?
In India, we need at least about 5'7". Professionally talking about, when you go into the very national level, it's 5'8". Whatever they have this thing as 5'7" for women, and 6, you have to be 6 for men. Internationally, they have 5'9" and 5'10" above. And the body types are very slim now, internationally, globally looking at now. The trends keep changing. Now when the trends change internationally, even in India, the trends change depending on the designer to designer. Now what happens, some designers only look for saris and lehengas and they do only that kind. So then they need a healthier body comparing to a slimmer body. Whereas when they go into kaftans and swimsuits and things like that, India, then they look at a slimmer body. For guys, they need to be slim. It's not like bodybuilders. Bodybuilders is out, the big biceps and chest and all that is out. You have to be around 39 to 40. That's the size they're looking around. But looking at women and men, you can't have a specified measurements, because some people have longer torso and a smaller leg length. So it depends on the length of your legs and comparing to your body. Now, when this becomes uniform, then you can say a specification, okay, 32, 33 or 34, waist 26, 27. But I wouldn't generally go by measurements. I would rather prefer going through a body, looking at a kind of a curve, or whether you're having a kind of specification from your shoulders to your thighs.
So is it necessary to maintain the body stats as in measurements, since it's a known fact that designers like to keep a certain body chart?
See, what happens, you cannot specify that, okay, one designer needs specifications, so a model cannot be to one designer, catering to one designer, because certain designers need certain kind of a body type. Internationally, if you're looking internationally, you have to maintain your body in a very different way comparing to the Indian. And if you're looking at bigger fashion weeks like Amazon and Lakme and things like that, I think Wills, they have a specify. Definitely they specify a certain kind of measurements. Because I think if you maintain your body, there is nothing like it. You have to. Otherwise you can't stay in this industry.
Okay. So what is your take on specific haircut, face cut or hair coloring for both the male and female model?
I don't think you need to specify on the hair color especially. You just be normal, because at the end, for every designer needs a certain kind of a hair do that the stylist will do, the hair color and things. You can't have one form of hair and try every designer to copy that hair. No, it goes wrong, especially for women. It's better to have a shoulder length hair at least, or to the maximum to the waist. It's better to have that kind, because it can be adapted and it can be used in many ways. And each designer wants a different kind of a look. So you can't have one look and think you should get into the modeling like that. So you have to have a basic look. So it's better to be toned. It's better to have a toned face. Everybody's looking for a toned face, younger face, good skin. You need to have good skin, good eye, no dark circles underneath the eyes, and no blemishes on your skin. For both men and women, it's this whole thing about being fair is out, and you need to maintain your skin by eating properly, sleeping properly, and taking care by exercise, detoxing, things like that.
Where can one learn ramp walk?
There are specific places in every city Every city has somebody teaching ramp walk. If it's a metro city, if it's a big city, definitely they have. If they don't have, then there are on the website you can go and find out who grooms models. So when they say the word grooming, automatically it goes into catwalk. And a lot of people think they can become models in 1 week, 2 weeks. No, especially for ramp model, you will take a long, at least minimum 3 months to get your catwalk properly, because you need to tone your legs, you need to strengthen your legs. It's basically your legs that need that, and your posture has to be very good. It's your posture that's very, very important, because your posture correction takes long. It cannot be corrected like in a day or two, because a lot of us sit for a long time, we work for a long time, we study in classrooms for 6 hours to 7 hours, so our posture is going wrong because we are not idly exercising to get that posture back. Now you need 2 hours of exercise every day to get posture back. Posture correction is totally different from physical fitness. Now each person has a problem with their posture, so you have to specify what kind of posture this person is suffering from, whether it's the hip or whether it is the legs, things like that. Now I wouldn't advise somebody to rush and learn catwalk madly. Somebody is saying, you need to check first. Everybody wants to be a model. Everybody thinks they're a model by just being some good face. No, a ramp model requires more of a personality, and you need to be excellent on the ramp. Whereas in a photo shoot, I can cut and Photoshop and do something. In a ramp, you can't do anything. You're on stage in that 45 seconds to 1 minute, you have to be your best. For that 1 minute, you have to work something like 4 to 5 months to be excellent, and to be a star, it'll take about 3 to 4 years. Sometimes it takes more than that, but you have to really work hard.
So according to you, what do you think the ramp model should be aware of, do's and don'ts?
So first I'll get into the don'ts, and then we can do the do's. Okay, now I would say don't go artificially doing things. First thing is medically, I wouldn't say advise you to do silicons, liftings, and maybe liposuctions and things like that. So I would advise you as a very senior that don't go desperate. Don't be desperate to do things for a short time, and then you'll end up in a problem in the long run. And another don't is don't be desperate to show that you want to be a model. People take advantage of you. And do's is that you need to first know that you're getting paid. It's very important to get paid. Now, first initially, yes, you get exposure, and maybe you'll get some kind of recognition, and then you'll be taken to other shows. But later on, you need to start demanding what you're capable of, your fee. You have to rise increasing, and then you need to go about going step by step higher. You can't be stuck, and you cannot be standard and stale in one place. You need to be going very high. Within a few years, that is maybe 3 years or 4 years, you give yourself, and you must see yourself going upwards nationally or internationally.
So Sreedhar sir, how must the models understand choreography? Are there any tricks to learn posing?
Choreography demanding for different shows is different, and designer needs different kind of choreography. Actually, in a fashion week and all that, you can't go into major choreography because you have 6 designers or 8 designers to do in a day, and you have very limited time. So the girls have to know before what is to pose, how to go about center walking, that what we call is solo ramping, 1.5 ramp, then we say peeling out, peeling in. These are the terminologies that they need to know. Okay, what is a split ramp, how to go about turns, if it's needed for a lehenga, it's for lehengas, they need to do a lot of turning. So if they need to open out the lehenga skirt, or for a sari, they need to have a kind of hands very, very subtle. Expressions are very important. Each expression needs to be there. For a sari, maybe it's elegance, or whether it is more of charming. and for a gown maybe the sexiness, and maybe for a swimsuit it's very sensuous. Things like that you need to have. And the style of walking somewhere in a sports garment, you need to be a little more bouncy, and maybe for a gown you need to glide a little more, very passionately express in a different way. So I wouldn't get into choreography as a part of posing. Tricks are there. I think it's better if I show it to you in the demo than trying to tell you, because you may not understand what I'm trying to tell you out here. But it's necessary that the models need to know a little bit of what is choreography, and the terminologies. It's better because we only talk in terminologies when you're doing a fashion week. If it's only one fashion show for a designer, then we'll automatically, we have time, maybe 2 hours, 3 hours, so we can show everything. But when you have only 30 minutes for each designer, we talk on terminology. We say, okay, you go alternate peel out, we do a trio, we do, okay, duet, we do split ramp, and we say, okay, you go triangle and things like that. So it's very difficult for a new model if she doesn't understand what is this terminologies. And each person has a different terminology. It's better to learn that.
Okay, so as Sreedhar sir said, unless and until you go to a proper grooming class and understand postures and understand the exact terminology used for choreography, I would rather suggest that ramp models who are wanting to begin in this particular field do not hesitate to contact Mr. M.S. Sreedhar or any groomer in your city for this matter. Do not even think that just because you have a face and just because you have a height and body, you can become a ramp model. Please remember this point very carefully. Now that, let's say, you have undergone grooming sessions and you have learnt postures and you have learnt your catwalk. Now comes the next point wherein you are going to be taking a footstep to get onto the ramp for an actual show. So now let's talk to Sreedhar sir on what's the next point that you need to know. Sir, what are the etiquettes you think a model needs to know on the ramp as well as at the backstage?
See, the first thing is, I would always say concentrate on the show, concentrate on what the choreographer is saying or your backstage manager, because the backstage manager is the king there at that moment, because she knows everything what's happening and she's going to cue. Now, don't totally depend on your backstage manager. It's better to get your cues on your mobile, or you can write it down. If you find that writing it down also is difficult, you can always draw it. Even if you don't want to put it in words, you can draw it, and what we call a cue sheet. So those days the cue sheet used to be written. We didn't have phones and we didn't have mobiles or anything. They used to write it down so they remembered. While writing, automatically you get that into a by hearting. So that's very important. And don't keep yakking around at the backstage and looking at yourself in the mirror when your entry is going to come. A lot of people have missed out the entries because they fool around and they think, okay, I am very good and I can handle it. No, they missed it out. So you have to be concentrating always till your entry comes. Your backstage manager is very important. And another important thing is, check all your garments, whether it is fitting, whether the zips are proper, and recheck your accessories and things like that, and don't get drunk. This is another problem. And have a good night's sleep when you come for a rehearsal, because if you don't have that sleep, you're going to not get the cues proper. You're going to be irritated. Even if somebody corrects you, you're going to snap at them. So these are things that happen, and plus you look like a gone case on stage if you don't have that sleep. So you need to sleep well, eat well, drink a lot of water, hydrate yourself, so you won't faint, nothing will happen, because it's a lot of pressure on you, fittings, and then you're doing rehearsals, then you're going into the show, makeup, and you hardly have the whole day on you. Don't starve because you want your waistline to look slim. I think you should do that.
Right, sir. So you also are a groomer. So where do you take classes?
I specifically take only in my dance institute. That is, we are at Alliance Francaise, Vasant Nagar and Bangalore. It's very close to Cantonment Railway Station. It's a huge dance studio where we have mirrors on both sides, and we have excellent lighting, and we have a lot of workout things. We work out, we just don't teach only catwalk, we teach them posture, how to correct posture, how to get their exercises. What are the exercises that help in getting them the posture back, and to get the strength in the legs, and to balance on heels. Balancing on heels is a technique and an art. Most of them, if they can learn to balance on heels and walk on heels, now it's 6 inches heels, so it becomes difficult for them.
I understand.
It's years before we had 3 inches, now it's come to 6 inches, and years back we had a lot of hip swing, and they didn't concentrate so much on the catwalk. It was more of dance when we started it, but now the specifically fashion models have to have a good catwalk.
Let's take a look at the demo now.
Here is somebody who's 5'6", who's average, and I'm going to show you a demo how to walk about and how to pose. Very basic. Let's start off now. Okay guys, just a few tips for all you girls. And the first thing is the posture is very important. Now a lot of them have this problem of thrusting the bust out. It is not a posture where you need to pull in the stomach. If you look at it from the side, the stomach has to go in this way without thrusting the shoulders out like that. It shouldn't push the shoulders out. It should be more square, we call the square, and the spine should be pulled up, the spine. The lower abs should be pulled in. See, this is called the lower ab, and then you shouldn't thrust, and you should lengthen your neck. The neck should be lengthened. The chin should not protrude forward, nor should it go back. It should be held there. Eye should be at your own eye level. Don't go below the eye level unless the people are sitting down. Now another important thing is, don't have the mouth gaping. See, what is gaping is just open out your mouth like that when you gape. Just tighten your mouth a little bit. If you want to part your lip, it's okay. Parting is different from gaping. Expression should be fabulous, whatever is needed for the expression. Now whether you want to be sensuous or whether you want to be charming, just give me a charming, little more charming. Yeah, that's a little more charming expression. Now trying to be sensuous, you can be a little bit more bitchy sometimes. You want to be tough, tighten your mouth a little bit, tighten, yeah. Now what happens to the next part, once you come here, comes to the fingers. Now most of them curl the fingers. The fingers should be just extended out, relaxed, but not stiff at the same time. Elbow shouldn't be over straight. Elbow should be slightly bent. Slightly it should be bent. Now coming down to the knee. So your knee should be slightly bent. This is the basic pose. First pose, I'm showing you how the knee should be bent. Do not turn the foot inward like this. It should be more towards, pointed towards the audience, or pointed towards the camera, or pointed towards the ramp at the edge. Now the other foot should be turned out. One is turned out, is like this. Yes, the foot is turned out. Watch the foot. And this is proper. The knee should not sleep this side nor that side. It should be straight. Now this is your basic pose. Now if you want to use your arms, this is without using your arms. Now when you want to use your arms, you can use it with the fingers pointing downwards. One hand, opposite hand first. Yeah, this is called opposite hand, opposite leg. Now if you're using 2 hands, it's 2 hands. Pull in the abs still. You need to do. So this is your basic thing without pushing the shoulders to the back. The shoulder should be perfect. Now if you're too broad, if you're a very huge person, then what happens, I would consider not to use the arms and put one arm down at least. It's better. Now it all depends on what clothes you're wearing, whether you're wearing denim or whether you're wearing a skirt or whether you're wearing a gown. So your hands does the trick for that. It's not basically, okay, this hand has to be there. No, not necessary. Sometimes we don't use the arms at all. Very good designers don't use their arms at all. They walk without the arm being there. Sometimes the designer insists on the arm being there and be very grand. Then you need to keep your body up and properly do that. Now getting into the leg that we're going to do as an open pose, the leg moves to the open pose. This is called a bent knee with a L-shaped open leg. Now this can be when you have a slit gown, when you want to show a slit in the gown, or you want to show your legs on a very high swimsuit cut. So you can do this. Now when you straighten the knee a little more and extend the leg a little more. So this is different from the usual other poses. Now this is another pose. Like that you have, generally you can make an improvised poses. Now you can take another pose that is in the front, which we front crossed over, turn of the foot a little more. And you can have a different kind of a take on it. You want to give a different expression, things like that. You want to do something very dramatic. So it all depends on what the choreographer wants and what the designer wants. It's not that you have to do something, but you can be versatile, you be prepared. If you have to give a pose that's very funky, very jumpy, very edgy, something like that, and you want to use something like that, you need to do those kind of things. Then the leg goes different, the leg goes more out, you can do funky, things like that. When you want to be playful, okay, you want to be playful with the clothes like that, you can do so many things depending on your kind of clothes that you are asked to do, and that's the kind of expression. So let's cut this out.
Meeting you with a view to a cure, face to face in secret places.
Now that you have heard from Mr. M.S. Sreedhar on his take about ramp modeling and you have watched the demo, please do like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.